Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I don't know if you followed me on Twitter, but if you don't, you're missing out on a really great conversation. On Friday night, we were getting into it about Kobe Bryant's Twitter account and whether or not he really writes it. Well, sure enough, Kobe Bryant responded to me and lit up my Twitter timeline for quite a while on Friday evening. So you really should check it out because you never know what's going to happen. Well, we went through the Toronto Lakers game from yesterday, and I know that Toronto fans are really excited about us getting to it because it's been a long time since we've done a Raptors breakdown, and it was a great win for them and a pretty rough loss for the Lakers on the road, needing every win they can get. And this was against a team that hadn't won very many games recently, so this is going to be a devastating blow to the Lakers' playoff chances. That said, Earl Clark has been a real highlight the last couple of weeks for the Lakers, and I'm going to show you what he's bringing to the table and why they need him going further. Since Pau Gasol went down with a concussion, Earl Clark has made the most of his opportunity. Mike D'Antoni has given him serious minutes, and he's been one of the most productive Lakers during this period, combining high field goal percentage with volume rebounding. More importantly, he brings energy and athleticism to a team in desperate need of it. He doesn't handle the ball well at all, but he's 6'10", athletic, and can make plays around the hoop. And over the last 2 weeks, since he's gotten a lot of playing time, he's shooting over 70% from three-point range. Playing with Kobe, you have to get used to watching him while he ISOs on one side of the floor. But Earl Clark doesn't just stand there and watch. When the shot goes up, he's very active and is averaging a robust 2.4 offensive rebounds per game, as well as 3 assists per game. I've been impressed with his defense as well. Watch how he rotates over perfectly on the roll man, and then on this rotation from the weak side, again the roll man is covered by him, and he can close out on his man. And even though his man is on the perimeter, when the shot goes up, he gets right to the rim and gets that rebound. Ed Davis has begun blossoming into the player Toronto hoped for when they drafted him 13th out of North Carolina. Overall, he's been extremely efficient, utilizing the pick and roll and offensive rebounds for putbacks as his most dangerous weapons. Here's evidence that Ed Davis has put a lot of work into improving his 15-foot jump shot, and Pau Gasol should have been a lot better on that contest. While he is shooting much better from 10 to 15 feet, and here's a shot at the buzzer with a lot of pressure on him, he'll never be a really consistent shooter because his form is funky. Watch his elbow go to the right in the middle of his upward motion and then release. He should pattern his game after Lamar Odom, a lefty-dominated player who can finish around the rim and who needs to gain about 25 more pounds of muscle. And you can't tell me this doesn't remind you of Lamar Odom at his best when he puts the ball on the floor and finishes with the left. In transition, he's particularly lethal because he's fast, has good hands, and can really finish strong. Landry Fields has been having a miserable season by any stretch of the imagination, so it was certainly surprising to the Lakers that he played so well. However, when you look at how the Lakers defense played him, it was no surprise to me that he had a breakout game. There's definitely a comparison to be made between Jeff Green and Landry Fields. They both are athletic but have pretty bad footwork. Here, off of a jump stop, you're supposed to jump off both feet. He travels and goes off a 1-2, but he makes the shot, no call. Fields had the game of his life against the Lakers, and when Dwight Howard doesn't step up on a screen and roll, it's easy for him to make those shots. The Lakers open up with Kobe guarding Calderon, and that means Nash has to give up 4 inches to Landry Fields. A quick lob from the center, and they get a layup. More help from the Lakers defense. Watch the pick and roll. Steve Nash should run through this gap here. Instead, he tries to slide, runs into Pau Gasol. 2 guys go to the ball, leaving Landry Fields for a dunk. And another layup for him when Kobe falls asleep completely, letting him get a pass for a layup. Jose Calderon is threatening to get back into the exclusive 50-40-90 club, and while the Lakers tried to put Kobe on him early, this move backfired and Calderon caught fire late, hitting his last 5 shots, all from the perimeter. With a great shooter like Calderon, you never want to give him open shots even if he misses, and here Kobe is too slow and Dwight too ineffective to put any pressure on him. While this is a better contest by Pau Gasol, watch how Kobe lets himself get pushed out of the way, doesn't keep going, and Dwight Howard doesn't even try for the rebound. So Kobe blocks this shot, but Pau, looking that way, doesn't realize how short it is, and Toronto gets the rebound on the quick shot with a buzzer. Again, awful box out by Pau, and Kobe is nowhere near Calderon. He can get on a roll with open looks like that. So after those practice shots, they come down in bad transition defense. Earl Clark has to pick him up and goes underneath the screen. Wide open 20-footer for him. Two-man game with Aaron Gray, and Kobe goes underneath that screen. Of course he nails that shot. Jose Calderon, so hot right now. Pau comes up higher, gets blown right by, and he pulls up for the 23-footer. Nash's turn to be bad on this. The one thing he can't let happen is for Calderon to go through that little gap in between the screen, gets right in there, pulls up for a foul line jumper. You can't overlook Dwight Howard getting thrown out of this game because it was key to the Lakers' fortunes. If you look back in the game earlier before he got his first technical foul, there was a play where Anton Jamison pushes Ed Davis into Dwight Howard, who then throws him down. They called the foul on Anton Jamison. However, Dwight Howard was the one who got really upset and was yelling at the referees. And this could have gotten the referees in a state where they were going to give him a tee faster because he was already on them. So of course, when the non-play happens after the free throw and he gets tangled up a little bit with the Raptors, he gets a technical foul and they throw him out. And it was really not merited. However, when you get involved with the referees early, that's what can happen. Dwight Howard getting thrown out of the game could have been a blessing in disguise, as it gave Pau Gasol free reign to post up down low. The bottom line is, if they are going to play Gasol a lot of minutes, they have to get him post up down low and stop leaving him up above the free throw line. They try to run Pau to the post in transition, and Kobe has a lot of trouble getting the ball down there. This time they go right down there, he turns over his right shoulder and gets 2 free throws. Watch Earl Clark, who never stops moving, and when they feed the post with Pau, he does a nice spin move to the baseline and sees the cutting Earl Clark for a layup. Great play. And Pau got his dream shake on here with a fake to his right and then back over the left shoulder. My biggest problem with the offense is the high-low action when Dwight rolls to the hoop and it gets Pau Gasol high for shots like this. But like we diagrammed in our last breakdown, watch what happens when Pau is low on the screen and roll. They have to come over and help, and he's wide open for the dunk. And with just Pau in there on the high screen and roll and Kobe on the weak side, there's no help on Pau when he rolls to the hoop and they get easy shots. As we look at crunch time, the Lakers and Raptors shot a similar percentage. When it came for crucial defensive stops, the Lakers defense simply couldn't get them. Something else to consider, had Howard played down the stretch, there is no doubt he would have been forced to make free throws, canceling out any benefit he gives them on the defensive end. Down 7 in crunch time, Steve Nash gets a good shot, but watch the box out the Raptors do, and they don't get a second shot. Still down by 7 and Kobe attacks. Pau needs to roll to the rim for a dunk. Instead he flares, has to dribble once, travels after that jump stop and misses the shot. Don't forget how the Lakers let Calderon get on fire. Here he does a cross screen, then gets a down screen himself and a pitch. Pau doesn't step up, wide open shot, boom. After 5 straight shots by other Lakers, Kobe says, screw this, I'm going to jack it up, and boy, he nails a tough shot. By 6, the baseline ref has to watch a shot and probably doesn't see that little baby push on Pau Gasol. Lakers are furious. Down by 8 with a minute to go, they have a lot of options, but instead Kobe gets a pin down and jacks up an awful 3. They should have gone for a quick 2. So there you have it. Raptor fans, I'm really glad I can get you a Raptors breakdown. It's been long overdue and a nice win in a season of wins that are hard to come by. The Lakers, on the other hand, are really struggling, and they couldn't afford to lose this game, having to now go to Chicago and Memphis back-to-back on the road. And remember, in March, they have 10 of 15 games on the road, so I'm going to go on record as saying they ain't going to make the playoffs. I'm sorry. They'd have to win just about 70% of the remaining games. The real interesting question is if they end up going 500 between now and the All-Star break, or between now and the trade deadline, will they trade Dwight Howard? Because it's pretty clear in my mind, if they don't make the playoffs, Howard's going to leave. And they don't want to have him leave without getting anything in return. So it poses a lot of interesting scenarios here. Well, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You win,